as we know, there's a pretty big issue in the tourism industry. Not a lot of tourists are talking about it though. I was reading an article on adventure.com where the author stated that 6 out of 10 apartments in Venice, Italy are short-term rentals. That means that 4 out of 10 apartments are available for people who actually live there. So it's no secret that short-term rentals have created problems in the tourism industry, but as the traveler who wants to have this authentic experience, how do you make sure that you're gonna go stay with a host who's actually doing the right things and not contributing to the problem? Before I book with a host, I ask them qualifying questions. I know that sounds a little crazy, but hear me out. I believe that in a free market, anyone can make a business out of anything, right? And you as the consumer, you want to make sure that you're spending your money in places that you feel good about. So by doing so, it's kind of like choosing to shop at one store versus another because you like their sustainable practices and you think that they do a better job at protecting the environment versus this other company, right? So if you're choosing this company over this one, why not do the same thing with your hosts on short-term rental platforms? These qualifying questions, I have a whole list of qualifying questions, but today I'll just go over the 3 most important ones, and hopefully that will give you some insight as to vetting your Airbnb or VRBO hosts early on, and just feeling better about where you're staying. And hopefully it will also give you a better experience too. Anyone can become a host if they have a place to do it. And you just want to be making sure that you're spending your money and your time in a place that you feel good about. The other thing too is that the answers that you get from the front end could be quite revealing to who this person is. So for example, if you're going to an Airbnb and you book with a host who you don't hear from for the entire time that you're there, you probably would want to find out that they're not very responsive before booking. So asking these questions will help you get those answers and be able to make a discerning choice on your own. So let's get into it. This is the Airbnb issue. To give you a little bit of context about this problem, Airbnb is a massive international company that basically makes it possible for people to rent out their spaces for short-term rentals, aka travelers going to a new destination. So if you're a traveler, or even if you are someone who's going around domestically, odds are you've heard of Airbnb or have used it yourself. The platform is amazing because as the traveler, you have experiences, you have hotels, you have all sorts of different resources at your disposal. But the reason Airbnb got so popular is because it was marketed as the more authentic alternative to hotels. So let's say, for example, you're a traveler and you're going to Kyoto, Japan, right? Rather than go to, let's say, a Hilton, that's like the experience, right? It doesn't sound very fun, definitely not very authentic, doesn't represent the culture of that place, but you know what you're getting, right? That's the one benefit of hotels, is that you know what to expect. On the other hand, let's say you go to Kyoto and instead of staying at a hotel, you stay at an Airbnb. Rather than staying in this cookie cutter hotel room, there's this opportunity to create a connection with somebody who lives there and maybe even calls it home. Maybe they've been a lifelong resident of Kyoto and they've got some tips for you to see and experience the city in a way you wouldn't otherwise. That's amazing. I mean, for a traveler, having all of this at your disposal, it's really such a cool way to see and experience a place you've never been to before. But let's go back to the problem. As of making this video, there's no limit to the amount of rooms or stays a single person can have on Airbnb. And so what happens is that in really, really popular places like Kyoto or Barcelona, New York City, Paris, places where millions and millions of people are visiting per year, there's not a limit to how many Airbnbs can be in that city, at least from Airbnb itself. Right? And if you're somebody who has a lot of capital, like let's say a real estate investor, there's nothing stopping you from buying multiple apartments and listing them all on Airbnb. This has caused a massive problem in some of these hot tourist destinations. Take Venice, for example. And keep in mind, some of these places you can't expand out, right? Venice, Italy is on an island, so it's not like you can build more buildings on the island if everything is already built upon, which is the case. So this has posed a huge issue because a lot of local residents who have called these places home for maybe their entire lives are now either incapable of finding a place because there's no apartments and no homes available, or it's too expensive for them to survive. So this means that some locals are at the expense of the tourism industry. Like they're getting pushed out of their home state, home city, because there are so many people putting short-term rentals there and they just can't find available housing anymore. Locals obviously are pissed, but here's the thing. Some locals are also making money on Airbnb, and they're not bad people. You know, they're just getting a double income from where they can and using the platform as the opportunity to do so. So, am I saying that all Airbnb is bad? No. Am I saying that all Airbnb hosts are bad? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that there are some ways to find hosts that are doing the right thing and using the platform ethically and not taking advantage of a largely unregulated industry. The other piece of this too that I think is really important is that because you as the traveler are going to a new destination and you might not be super familiar with it, you probably want to have a good experience with somebody who really cares about your stay. And so you probably wouldn't want to stay with a host who's just using this apartment for an investment opportunity, right? You want to stay with somebody who actually cares about the city, who maybe has lived there their whole lives and will actually give you recommendations or be on the lookout to take care of you if something happens, right? So here's what you can do as a traveler. Before you book on Airbnb, why don't you ask your host some questions? Think of them like qualifying questions. These questions will help you figure out if this person is someone that you want to book with, right? The first question I would ask them is, are you a resident of XYZ city? I know it sounds obvious, but you would be surprised how many people will just buy properties in places that they don't live in just because it's a hot real estate market. So if I were to be going to, let's say, Miami, Florida, and I want to stay with someone who's from Miami, I would ask them, how long have you lived in Miami? Are you a local resident? Are you going to be living or staying like near the property? I would even frame this question as like a safety thing. Like, are you going to be near the property if something goes wrong or if I need to contact you? Because also there have been instances where I've been at Airbnbs and my host was completely unreachable when I was there, which is a problem, right? Of course, if you have an emergency, you want to be able to contact the only person you know in that city, right? Who probably is the host. The next question I would ask them is, since I'm new to this city, I would really like some recommendations from a local. Would you be willing to give me some recommendations for things to do or places to see that aren't necessarily on the tourist radar? I would say on the tourist radar because when I've asked this question in the past, I've gotten many different answers. Very often, because some hosts tend to maximize their time, they don't really give you a personalized answer. So I've gotten answers that are like very clearly copy and pasted, like somebody just like has a boilerplate list of like, here's what you should do, A, B, C, D, so on, and just sends that to all of their guests. Very often those things are just stuff that you would find on like Instagram, and so they're all the usual tourist spots. So this I ask right off the bat because before I book, because I want to get their commitment early on and I want them to know, yes, I'm going to ask you questions and I would like an answer, essentially. But also for the discerning traveler, it's going to tell you if they are actually local. If they don't have anything to give you, they're probably not living there and they don't know the city enough to actually give you an answer. And the third question I would ask, and this is by far the most important, is beyond how long you've lived here and recommendations you can give me, how do you give back to your community? Now, this question has nothing to do with you or your trip, but it has everything to do with learning about this person's commitment to their city. If they're going to be making money and profiting off of that city, they should be giving back in some way, whether it's financially or with their time. And so I like to ask this because it gives me a very quick, very clear glimpse of this person's character and their sense of responsibility. So those are the 3 questions I would ask an Airbnb host before you decide to book with them. And that also goes for other short-term rental platforms like VRBO, I think is another one, or even Booking has some privately owned listings. If you like these questions and you want to see more, I actually have a much longer list of questions, so you can always pick and choose which ones you prefer. You can check those out on my website, earth2editorial.com. That's a blog and a community for conscious and culture curious travelers. I help people how to become good stewards of the places that they visit, as well as seeing authentic sides of their destinations. So I'd love to find you there, and definitely let me know in the comments what you think of this video, or if you've used these before. I would love to hear your experience with them. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye.